Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to actually be the second time on Avionica with you. Well, I mean, actually, because there were 2 years that we all like to forget, right?
That's right.
It's so technically we're now almost 14 years,
Wow.
But I mean, 11 times 70,000 tons of metal, and now we're gearing up for the next round of 70,000 tons of metal next year. In 2020, it was earlier because the Super Bowl was in Miami itself.
That's right.
And during our usual period at the end of January, and that would have been a very bad idea because there's so many people coming to Miami, hotels cost a triple, flights cost a double or a triple, so we had kind of two choices, either go much later, like February, end of February, March, or go really early in January. Thank God we decided we do it early in January, because if we would have put it in March, the whole world would have been already crazy. Yeah.
Man.
So
Wow.
good decision. Good decision.
Good thing.
Because you all know what happened. The whole pandemic and COVID. Times we really want to forget.
Totally.
Sure, in the beginning, and we probably all heard or saw on TV or read these stories in the newspaper about this one cruise ship in Japan, and with 900 people got locked up for weeks in the ship.
Tell me. Horrible.
So, sure, you have some drinks and you're like, oh yeah, this would be perfect, like all these fans and all these beds locked up on the ship, but... So yeah, I mean, there were 2 years of drought, as you can say.
I know.
Look, I mean, from the beginning on, I'm a professional optimist. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
I know, perfectly.
So I always thought, okay, this is a pandemic. I mean, there is going to be some problems. Unfortunately, really unfortunately, many people will die. But eventually, science, pharmaceutical companies or so, they will come up with some solution. Whether it's treatments, whether it's vaccines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That it takes so long, I did not expect,
Oh yeah.
It became pretty soon clear to me in March 2020, so there will maybe not 70,000 tons of metal in 2021.
Wow.
I also secured financing pretty soon, so that can bring us as an organization through this whole thing. I also, look, in the end, I kept all my employees. I didn't lay off a single person, didn't furlough a single person. Knowing that it will take 2 years afterwards, I don't know if I would have done it, but like for me, having stability and loyalty is very, very
good guy,
important.
and you are certainly a gentleman.
You not always get paid back. Look, this is like in English there is this kind of saying. People say, you want loyalty, get a dog. It's actually a problem. But look, in the end, I still think it's the right thing to do. Just because there is some problem or whatever, people still need to live. And
you can easily say, hey, I'm sorry, no, we are...
Of course, this is what many other companies did. This is what many other promoters and whatever did, but we create and we sell such a very, very specialized product,
Totally.
So for the team to become really valuable, they already need to be with me for 1 year to actually understand every aspect, They need to be 2 years to become really valuable, And I'm not a fan of the good old American hire and fire. That's not what I am. And I think, to put it maybe casually, that's not metal,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I know, like I always appreciate the praise, it makes me proud, it makes me happy. I also know not everything is perfect, and I appreciate when people, as I always say, like all the thanks and the praise make me proud, but only criticism can help me improve,
Yeah.
So, because I see this from my view, the same with my crew, but we don't necessarily see how the fans, we call them our survivors, right?
We
survivors. Yeah, you are a survivor. There you go. You know, you are many times survivor, my friend. You know, so how they see it. You know, so I always value and appreciate the feedback and the input. What can we improve? What can we do different? The merchandise certainly is one thing. I remember, you know, like years ago. People, I mean, some of them, they still do this. They sleep in front of the merchandise so that they can
I saw that.
They bring the pillows from their cabins,
yeah.
so it's crazy, you know.
Insane.
But, you know, in the past we had this lineup going through the entire ship. People had to wait for 6 hours. So we invested a lot of money, you know, in this ticketing system. Now you can take a ticket and you can watch it on your TV in your cabin or with other TVs around the ship. Okay, number 300 to number 400 serving now, and then you can go. There is other things. Look, you mentioned before my speech on the pool deck stage, you know, which this is our crown jewel, you know, like I always say, you know, people often don't know, this is the biggest open air stage structure to sail the open seas.
That's right.
I talked to the survivors there and explained some of the problems that came, especially last year. But at the end of the day, you know, I take responsibility because I'm the skipper. I come up with the ideas. Sure, there were a lot of unforeseen things with banks, credit card processors, with insurance, if complications and so on. But on the other hand, I'm the skipper, so I could have probably also come up with certain things or solutions, redundancies earlier, and I will promise you, I will do the very much utmost best that I can, that for next year, things will not be the same. They will come earlier. We already announced the dates, as you know, of January 29th to February 2nd.
That's good too, yeah.
And we sail to a new destination, like a country we have never been before, you know, to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
República Dominicana.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, you know, I'll make sure, and it's actually we're talking about, you have to be fast bringing this on the air.
We will.
Because we will announcing the first bands and also starting ticket sales very soon. Don't hate me because I know people don't like when I say soon. So I say very soon, you know. This is something that nobody can take from us, but look, I mean, as every good idea that works, you will have people that do something similar. I come with another proverb. In English you say, competition is good for business, right? So I have no problem with that. First of all, we are the original, we're the inventors, we're the leading light. So this is something nobody can take from us.
Nobody.
70,000 tons of metal. Now actually, you know, the name comes from the displacement of the ship. Now we are on a ship that is 154,000 tons, you know, so that is 2.2 times 70,000 tons. We are by far the biggest ship, you know, and I keep on inventing, I keep on coming with new ideas. And then when people want to copy, you know, I already have a new idea.
Exactly,
you know?
that's the way it is.
And look, I mean, some of the other cruises are also a different concept, you know. It's either built around one big band or some of the cruises, they are more actually a cruise, and then there is also some heavy metal bands playing. 70,000 tons of metal is actually a heavy metal festival on a cruise ship, you know, so that's kind of different.
It's totally different.
And once again, you know, like one of the things that is really special is the enormous amount of bands, you know, that we have on board, and that we do not create any kind of VIP or backstage.
And you can watch them twice.
You can watch every band twice, and this whole community feeling that we are. You know, you can watch this now. You can watch videos on the internet and can read about it. You have to be there yourself to actually really experience this feeling that we create already in the terminal. You know, everybody from the biggest band to the cheapest 4-bed interior cabin on deck 2. They all go to the same security check in the terminal, they all do the check-in at the same point together. And once you walk over this gangway on the ship, something happens in your subconscious that you realize, oh my God, we're really, in the true sense of the meaning, all on the same ship. We're all the same boat, you know. And then some mutual respect also develops between fans and between the bands. Hey, we're all there together, but and we need to leave each other our space, you know. Like and you know, I mean, everybody has one nice party together. Interesting also, and this is what makes 70,000 tons of metal so special. You go to a normal concert or to a normal festival, first of all, the ratio between fans and bands is a totally different one. There is a segregation, you know, but you're there for one evening, for one night, and then everybody is gone again. There you are for 5 days, for 4 nights on this ship, and nobody can leave, so to speak. So, so some musician or whatever is busy talking to some other people, you know, you see him later, you see him tomorrow, you see him the day after tomorrow.
Exactly.
I hear so many incredible stories, you know, like some fans, you know, like suddenly they end up in the elevator going to their cabin, you know, like together with some band. Or they end up having dinner at the restaurant with some band, or they maybe even sit in the jacuzzi with some musicians and all this kind of stuff. You know, this is stuff that only happens on 70,000. Certainly, we have to deal with it. Yeah, I mean, like I'm in the same boat as every promoter around the world. After the pandemic, a lot of things changed. Inflation, prices went crazy for certain things.
Transportation, everything.
And we see this all over the place, all over the world. Tours get cancelled because simply the numbers don't make any sense anymore. When I announce something, I also want to make sure it actually happens like this. I don't announce bands that are not 100% sure that they can come. Not everything is secured. You know, some of the European bands, if they play only the cruise, they don't need a visa for the US, but some other ones they actually do, you know. I would never come to the idea to announce a band and not everything is absolutely sure and secured. Nevertheless, I know that this is a very big point of criticism from the survivors, from you and from my customers in the end, you know. And I will do my utmost I will probably not change the system completely, and I will probably still have some surprises at the end. But in the end, you asked me for this for so many years, so I will give you what you asked me for. And I will give you a much bigger part of the lineup much earlier in the year, you know, so. There is, you know, I mean, we have about 2/3 of the people that come every year to 70,000 tons of metal are repeat survivors, right? You know, I said before, it's almost like a drug, you know, like you do this once, you want to come again for sure. I also want to keep it interesting for these people, you know, so change up the lineup, because like other festivals or whatever, you know, like almost every year, almost as always the same bands are playing. It's not interesting. This is also why we're trying to go to different destinations. You know, as I said, next year we're going to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, and keep things interesting. You know, and interesting is also, and this is probably the thing that actually makes me most proud, really most proud about 70,000 tons of metal, is our global representation that we have aboard. In the last few years, it's kind of nice with the numbers, we always had people from over 70 different nations. So over 70 different nations and 70,000 tons of metal.
In one boat.
Yeah, we sometimes call it jokingly, this is the United Nations of heavy metal at sea, you know.
It is, totally.
And you know, I mean, you see these people from all over the world, you know, like from all continents. people from countries that are actually at a state of war with each other
Can you believe that?
and they come together on one ship to play and to celebrate one peaceful party, and this is how the world should be. This is also, look, nowadays we have so many problems in our world, and I also get a lot of criticism about the cruise for other reasons, like for example for environmental impact, you know, like climate change, all this. I'm very aware of these problems, you know, and I know, look, I mean, I even talk with the cruise lines, and slowly things are developing, new types of engines for the ships, etc. So, but this is a process that takes time. Coming back to the big problems that we have in our world, like geopolitically, wars, climate change, all this.
Everything together, yeah.
We can only solve this as a humanity as a whole, and for this we need intercultural understanding. We need to travel, we need to meet people from the other end of the world.
Right.
From other nations, from other cultures, from other beliefs.
Totally.
Because they have the same problem, they have the same dreams, they have the same sorrows that we have. But they probably have different ideas how to solve these problems. So intercultural understanding, meeting those people, and that doesn't really work over a video call or something like this. You need to meet.
You
need to talk with each other. You probably need to have a drink with each other. You need to be face to face, and then you have an understanding for other people. And because the big problems in our world, there is actually a kindergarten on the ship, you know.
I saw it.
So you can come with your kids.
It's all set.
You can drop them off at the kindergarten. You can have your party, and then you know your kid is taken care of. Also, this is something that you probably don't get at other festivals.
Totally.
And look, I mean, we actually have some families. They don't only bring their kids; they bring their parents too. Like a few years ago, this was before the pandemic, we actually had a lady from the United States that celebrated her 80th birthday.
Excellent,
on the boat,
incredible.
You know. So, you know, I mean, we can't really have fire on the boat, you know, so we got special permission to make her a cake with not 80 candles, but with one candle. Security guy was standing there with a fire extinguisher next to it, you know, because it's a ship, you know. But we got this special, and she had her 80th birthday, you know, on 70,000 tons of metal. This is really special, yeah. You know, like, I mean, so there was this. Tomorrow there is another show with Accept and
next week, Lamb of God, etc.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will not be here for that long, you know. But there were a couple of shows here. I know.
That never happened before. I mean,
we talked about this. It's it's almost too much, you know.
It's almost too much.
But I mean, it's anyway. It is kind of a testament to the metal scene here, not only in Bogota, but generally in Colombia, that is very well alive. And I know this very well, you know, like, you know, I've been here like since 7-8 years ago, and I mean, we didn't meet, but I've been here a couple of more times, also checking out some events. There was actually some really great talent in this country. You know, we had several times already, like smaller and really hopeful bands, you know, from Colombia on the ship, you know.
Beginners, medium, and big guys.
Yeah, so I mean, coming to this beautiful country here is always also a testament to the scene, you know. I want to check out new talent and, you know, probably bring new people to 70,000 tons of... Look, I mean, for me, I just have to really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for having me now for the second time on your show.
Thank you.
And this, you know, it's a real honor for me.
Thank you.
And the only thing that I can say, like, check out what's there out on his show, on our website, on social media about 70,000 tons of metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. And I just hope that next year, January 29th, I can welcome you personally in Miami as we board for the next edition of 70,000 tons of metal sailing to Punta Cana in Dominican Republic. It would be my real pleasure to welcome you on board. Cheers.
Keep rocking.